सीधे आपको ले चलते हैं वित्त आयोग की प्रेस वार्ता, जहां पर संबोधित किया जा रहा है।
2026-27 to 2030-31. Now, this way India's tax system is set up, there are certain taxes which the state governments levy and they collect themselves and they keep them. So, for example, the state GST, that is collected by the state government and it keeps that. Similarly, the excise on liquor, that is levied by the state government and kept by the state government, collected and kept. Similarly, the sales or VAT tax on petroleum products, and if they may sometimes also be sales tax on liquor or alcoholic beverages. That is also levied and collected and kept by the state government. So these are the taxes that belong to the state government's jurisdiction. Then there are some small number of taxes which the central government levies and keeps them. One is any taxes that accrue to the union territories. They go directly to the central government. There are some cess and surcharges that the central government levies, which also go directly 100% to the central government. And there is small cost of collection that also is kept by the central government. Everything else, which is income tax, which is the GST, particularly the CGST, the corporate profit tax, custom duties, all the big major taxes that are levied by the union government, collected by the union government, then go into a common pool which is called the divisible pool. This is the divisible pool which then the Finance Commission is supposed to recommend how it should be divided between central government and the state government. 15th Finance Commission had made a recommendation that 41% of this divisible pool should go to the states and remaining 59% should go to the central government. Right? So that's one decision that the central government, that the one recommendation that the Finance Commission makes. Then the second is how the share from the divisible pool that has been given to the states. So in the 15th Finance Commission's case, the 41% of the divisible pool, how that should be divided among different states. Right, there are 28 states, and whatever is the share of the states has to be divided among those 28 states. So then the Finance Commission, based on certain formula or based on certain criteria, which we will discuss in a few minutes in greater detail, makes a recommendation on how that should be divided. So the first division between center and states is called the vertical devolution, and the second division, which is the allocation of the state share in the divisible pool among 28 different states, is called the horizontal devolution. So that's two things. Third thing that the commission is asked by constitution and by the central government, by the president in the terms of reference, is giving grants to local bodies, that is panchayats, so rural local bodies and urban local bodies. So broadly speaking, panchayats in rural areas and municipal bodies in urban areas. So that's the third task. Fourth, the commission also makes recommendations on the disaster relief grants. So that's four. And then sometimes the commission has the authority to make recommendations of state-specific and sector-specific grants. State-specific grants may be grants to Jharkhand for certain things, that's state-specific, and sector-specific could be, let's say, on health or on education, which will cut across the states. Okay. One thing to remember is that whereas the devolution comes from the common pool, this divisible pool, all the grants that I mentioned, the local body grants, the disaster relief grants, the state-specific grants or sector-specific grants, they all come from the budget of the central government, or what is called the Consolidated Fund of India. So grants therefore are cutting into the central government's budget. So the finance commissions tend to be careful as to how much they can count on making decisions about grants that will inevitably come from the Consolidated Fund of India or the budget of the Government of India. So that is the approximate mandate of the finance commissions. Now, our commission was appointed. It was announced at the end of December 2023, but the appointments etc. took time, and also like March, April we became functional. After which because the model code of conduct kicked in because of the May 2024 elections, at least in terms of our consultation, we couldn't begin to proceed at the time, especially with the state consultations, which started only in June of 2024. Now, by way of background, the finance commissions conventionally carry out very extensive consultations. These consultations involve every single one of the states. So we visit every single state and have long meetings with the government of the state. We also meet the local bodies like the panchayats and their representatives, as well as municipalities and their representatives. Then we also meet trade and industry representatives. We also meet the representatives of different political parties. So that consultation, so that's a state level consultation. When we consult the central government, many different ministries, so often the secretary of the ministry will come with his team or her team and then brief us on the needs of their ministries. So that is the and then finance ministry of course gives a lot of briefs also. About 4 to 5 such briefs are given by the finance ministry. Furthermore, there is consultation with the experts in the field, which we have done, visiting 4 or 5 different cities in the country. So every state's experts, local experts have been consulted as well. And there is Reserve Bank of India, a lot of the other institutions. So any citizen of India who wants to make any recommendations, give us suggestions, we are open to that. And our website has a particular link on it where anybody can leave their suggestions. In our consultations, we are now down to the last state, meaning after Jharkhand. Jharkhand is our 27th state that we are visiting. And we have to visit UP, which we will meet on, I think, June 4th or 5th. So that will come June 5th, I think. And after which our consultation, at least with the states, will be complete. There is some still going on with the central government and all, but we are getting there. No decisions are made at this stage. First, the very important set of consultations are those with the state governments and the central government. So without that consultation being complete, no decisions can effectively be made. So if you ask questions, be careful. Don't waste your question, because I'll allow only 4 to 5 questions. So don't waste your question on something like, what is the commission going to do on this? I have no idea what the commission is going to do, because ultimately the commission is, there are 5 total members, including the chairman. And so it is the ultimately where the consensus of the 5 comes, which will determine what the decisions of the commission are. So that's something I want to flag you beforehand. Okay, now our consultations with the government of Jharkhand this morning. We had the chief minister had some other engagement, so he was not present at the consultation. But the Honorable Finance Minister presided over, and he himself gave a detailed speech. He was followed by, or first the Chief Secretary actually gave a detailed speech, and she outlined quite a bit of what the state's demands and needs were. This was more by way of overview and outline. Similarly, the Honorable Finance Minister spoke, and he also emphasized the needs of Jharkhand and what his expectations and therefore Honorable Chief Minister's expectations are from this commission. And then we had a very detailed presentation by the Finance Secretary. And this presentation started with giving an overview of the evolution of Jharkhand's economy, how where Jharkhand's per capita incomes stand, where how Jharkhand's per capita incomes and particularly the gross state domestic product (GSDP) has grown over the period of its existence, starting from 2001. Then he discussed in great detail. He also talked a little bit about the topography of Jharkhand and the fact of forests being very central to Jharkhand's geography, and then talked about the finances. And Jharkhand finances are actually in very healthy shape. Those of you who are following the Niti Aayog's indices on financial stability would know that Jharkhand has been ranked quite well by the Niti Aayog on its macro. I've talked about that. Then Jharkhand laid out how it wants to carry out, wants this commission to make the recommendations on vertical and horizontal devolution. So Jharkhand's recommendation is that 50% of the so current vertical division is 41% for the states and 59% for the central government. Jharkhand's recommendation is 50% for states, so increase 41 to 50, and 50% then will be left with the central government. This is a recommendation which vast majority of the states have made. They have all pitched for raising the share of the states in vertical devolution from 41 to 50%. Then the state also gave us its preferences on how the horizontal devolution should be done, meaning how the share of the states in the divisible pool should be divided. So I will go over the state suggestions on that in comparison to the 15th Finance Commission. So 15th Finance Commission's recommendations currently apply to the years 21-22 to 25-26. So currently those are the recommendations actually that are in force. So that is a good scale, good measuring rod against which we can talk about what the suggestions of the Jharkhand government are. So first of all, on the vertical devolution, I have already said 41% should be raised to 50%. That's, we come to horizontal. Now on horizontal, population has been one of the common criteria. First 5 or 6 of the finance commissions actually relied almost entirely, not completely, but almost 90 up to 90% of the devolution by the first 6 finance commission was based purely on population. What that means is that if a state has a 5% share in the national population, then it receives 5% of the share in the 5% allocation from the state share in the divisible pool. So that's in proportion to the population. So for 15th Finance Commission, 15% of the state share was divided according to population. Generally we say that 15% weight was given to population in the overall formula for devolution, for horizontal devolution. Area wise, 15th Finance Commission said another 15% should be divided based on a state's area, a state share in the total area. So again, larger the state, more the devolution. Out of that, 15%. Third is income distance. This has been a very important parameter, important criterion that every at least last 7 or 8, 6 or 7 finance commissions have used. This particular criterion, the income distance criterion, is to give larger part of the pie to the states with low per capita income and smaller part to the states with high per capita income. So this idea is that the states with low per capita their revenues, whereas the states with high tax revenue do have greater capacity to raise their own tax revenues. So this particular criterion tries to shift the allocations in favor of states with lower per capita income, and this is done by taking the distance between the per capita income of the richest state, generally richest large state, till recently it was Haryana, and what is the gap between per capita income of, let's say, Haryana and that of Jharkhand, and that distance being very large, that to Jharkhand. Then of course there is a population that goes into determination as well. So income distance was 45% in the case of 15th Finance Commission, and most commissions have actually in the past kept the weight of the income distance to around that level, 45, 50 or so. That's where it has been. Then forest. Idea behind forest is that partly because forest takes up the land area, so it imposes a little bit of cost on the state, and more importantly, forest is a shared, it gives benefits to the entire country through its effect on carbon emissions, etc. And so that is also a criterion. 10% of the weight was given by the 15th Finance. The state is making to raise its own tax revenues, that is 2.5%. And then demographic performance. This was the total fertility rate, that the lower the total fertility rate, more the devolution, and that was given a weight of 12.5%. Jharkhand's recommendations. Jharkhand's recommendation is that the population weight a little bit to 17.5% from on area. Jharkhand agrees with the 15th, which is 15%. Income distance weight, Jharkhand suggests that raise it from 45 to 50%. Now you can see that it works to the advantage of Jharkhand, because Jharkhand is the, by per capita income, Jharkhand is the third lowest per capita income state. Bihar is the lowest, UP is second, and Bihar is the third. So it is among the lowest per capita income states, and this criterion works to the advantage of Jharkhand. So they obviously are suggesting that increase the weight of income by percentage. Forest and ecology, they said raise the weight of that also by 2.5% to 12.5 from 10. Then Jharkhand has also suggested a new criterion. Has argued very forcefully that the introduction of GST has led to a loss of tax revenue for the state of Jharkhand, because it is largely a producing state rather than consuming state, and so that is a cost for it has pitched for the introduction of this new variable, and to that it assigns a weight of 2.5%.
लाइक एंड शेयर वीडियोस, सब्सक्राइब करें हमारा चैनल और प्रेस करें बेल आइकॉन। न्यूज़ 11 भारत, सच है तो दिखेगा।